Hi, and welcome to the PowerPoint outline. As I said, this is actually taught to me by a student, and it is a way of separating your ideas into all of the categories you're going to need in order to write a successful argument paper. Now, don't worry about the word PowerPoint. It's probably old-fashioned at this point, but I do want everything that you're working on broken down into 6 individual slides. I will show you that you can do this on a word processor, you can do it in PowerPoint, you can do it in Google presentation. I don't really mind. But the requirements are that the outline should be based on the topic assigned for your argument paper. So look at the paper topic first. Don't start writing this without the paper topic. The outline should have 6 slides, and each slide has specific instructions. Do not simply break up your paper into 6 parts, as some people have tried, and turn it in. That's not an outline. It doesn't fit the criteria as an outline. It doesn't get you thinking about the expertise you need in order to write the paper, and that's what an outline's trying to do. So please don't do that. You won't get a passing grade. The slide should contain only complete sentences. Please do that, obviously. Okay, each slide should contain 3 different and unique sources. This means authored works. Don't give me anything .org, Wikipedia, anything else. It is a research-based assignment, so please do not lose points because your research is not really up to the level of the class that we're pursuing. And this is the final paper, so we need to show off. We need to show that you're able to continue and consider research in a way that presents your ideas best. Slide 1 is the introduction. You're going to give the title of the paper, an introductory stat, an introductory quote, and an introductory anecdote. 3 hooks you are going to provide. Yeah, you need to do all 3. I will comment on which one I like best to start the paper. You don't have to take my comment there. If you like something better, go ahead and use it, but I want you to have all 3 ready to go. And a thesis statement. The thesis statement really should have the word should as it is an argument. But there are other ways to get around that. Just don't argue for what can be done, because can means maybe this, maybe that, but argue for what you believe are 3 things that should be recognized or should be perceived as important or changing to society, or, body paragraph 1, topic sentence. So the certain argument that you're making probably contains the word should. And then support 1, support 2, support 3. These are each pieces of research that you find that makes you an expert on this argument. So you need to find not just things that tell you what the problem are here, but also things that tell you how to argue for the solution. So, for example, if you were saying, and this is off topic because I don't want to kind of muddy the waters, you really should have a higher minimum wage. You're arguing for minimum wage increase. Well, the support shouldn't talk just about what the minimum wage is now. Support 1, the minimum wage is currently $7.75. Well, that might be okay, because you could say afterwards, this is woefully inadequate. Support 2, minimum wage laws were enacted in 1945. Well, okay, this no longer is supporting the idea that you should change the minimum wage. This is just a report on the minimum wage. Find something that shows people at $12 an hour are much more likely to have a stable home. Well, that's a good reason or a good argument for having a higher minimum wage. But just talking about how minimum wage started is not a support for an argument for change. It's a report. So please try to keep your support, and I'm using support and report a lot, but please try to keep your support in line with an argument for change. Obviously, slide 3 is body paragraph 2. Slide 4 is body paragraph 3. All of these add up to 3 different arguments for change. And this information here should not be simply a report on what is there now. It should be something that argues for change. Counterargument and refutation, that's a little bit easier, I think. You just find the best counterargument that is articulated for body paragraph 1, and then spend two sentences refuting it. For our minimum wage example, they're arguing for minimum wage. Well, I find somebody that says minimum wage should not be changed, industries will die. Two sentences to refute. Industries are dying all the time right now. If you use that as a marker, there are always industries that will price themselves out of the market. However, that doesn't mean we should price all labor to a level that doesn't allow them to live a good and fruitful life. So present people who would disagree with what you've written in the paragraph, and then show how they are wrong. Show that you believe that that is not a complete argument. At the end, you need to restate your thesis and then create a 5-line poem. This poem is about basically how to elevate your language in the conclusion. A lot of people are ending their conclusions with, and that is why we need to do these 3 things, and these 3 things are important. Well, if you have a poem and you say you are railing against the way people are being treated as cattle in a market society that doesn't respect their individuality, all of a sudden you have a little ammunition in this conclusion to have an emotional argument about how we are not merely a cog in a machine, we are the machine, and we decide how we run. Damn, all of a sudden it sounds like I have a real stake in the argument I just made, instead of just finishing off and being, well, this is why these 3 arguments add up to such an important and functional argument. Anyway, so this is how you are doing your PowerPoint outline. Please be thoughtful, please over-research, and please become an expert in the topic. That is what's most important. Each slide should show a certain expertise in the argument you're making. From the hills above Castaic, this is Professor Gifford, signing off.